Good morning. It's Sunday. Guess what that means? It means, hold on, I gotta look for cars because I'm pulling out of the driveway. It means that it is grocery pickup time and it is Travel Time Chit Chat time with Tamra. All right. Hey guys, how you doing? Thank you. First of all, I did a Travel Time Chit Chat earlier this week, which was recorded last Sunday, but it took me a few days to get it up. And I had some great comments and some private messages. I really appreciate all of you. Danky, thank you so much for reaching out and being a little concerned because you hadn't heard from me in a while. And just the very, very nice messages that you left me about your family watching me on your big TV. Yeah, I was really hoping that Q4 would bring, so first of all, Q4 brought me back home, not traveling in the RV, and I thought I would be able to do like videos more often, but that has not been the case. I've just been so busy, and I'm feeling stressed over juggling everything. So last week I talked to you guys about my Amazon and my way forward with that. So if you haven't seen that video, go back and watch it. It's still very, very relevant to today and what I'm going to talk about. And I think the biggest thing is like one of the stuff I kind of talked about was going back to Amazon and possibly doing some bundling and really finding some products that my goal was to find like 5 products that are pretty consistent sellers, start with 5 and then work from there and keep adding just to bring up some type of revenue. And Timothy, thank you for your comment, had commented about saying like, why don't you just really you look at your niche and bundle and do stuff within your niche. And so I've been really doing that, but I tell you, researching is a huge time suck. Like I am finding that I'm looking and it's 3-4 hours later and I'm like, where did all this time go and what have I come up with? So my question to all of you, and this is why I'm bringing it up within the first 5 minutes of my video, because I know not all of you will last through my whole video. I see the average time length and some of you are like, I'm out of here, I'm not listening to her anymore, or something pops up. I know my videos can be long, like an hour long, and most people's attention span is 15 to 20 minutes. All right, so if you are an Amazon seller, and I'm not asking you what you sell, the products or anything, but what are some of the top tools you use to identify products? Besides, like I have Keepa, and I use Keepa, but what are some tools that you use? I think it was it AZ Scout or something like that? I was watching Kristen, I think that's her name, Kristen Ostrander. She does the Mommy Income, I think is the name of it. I'm sorry if I'm getting it wrong, but she teaches like a bundling class, which I've never taken her class. I did take Barbara Dreska's class, and I have all that that information from taking her class, which honestly I gotta tell you, most of it I kind of knew. But it does get your head thinking. Even if you know something, just having somebody kind of say it again is enough to kind of get your head thinking about, okay, all right, yeah, I understand. So I was watching one of her videos from like a year ago, earlier this week, and it was talking about a program she uses. The problem is I wasn't around to like actually look at the program, nor follow up on it, so I got to go back and look at that. But I thought I'd ask you guys, what are some programs that you use to be able to identify some products, maybe some niches, which I already know the niche. I'm really trying to stay within my niche, but I'm okay if I go out of it a little bit, but I kind of want to stay in it because I'm hoping that I can register my brand on Amazon, because from everything I've read and everything I've heard, Amazon is really pushing brands that have registered. So I really kind of want to do that. And my friend Laura, thank you, Laura, she reached out, she saw my video, and she's like, yes, I'll definitely help you. So I appreciate that. I'm hoping this week to connect with her. And she had told me that, because she's doing really well with her brand, and she doesn't do, and I'm pretty sure I'm correct with this, Laura, she doesn't do any PPC, pay-per-click, on Amazon, and she sells out of her products. When she launches them, she'll sell out. And that's what Kristen was saying. And people in her chat were like, there's no way you can launch a new product and not do PPC. And she was like, yes, you can. If you've done your work, you've got the right keywords, and you are brand registered, and she stressed that. So that's why I want to get brand registered. But I really want to stay within a niche, or at least like a very closely similar niche type of thing. For instance, and I don't know if it was her or another video I was watching, they were talking about how you don't want to sell, let's say, body lotion. And you pretty much are selling all this body lotion, body care products, right? Shower gel, body lotion, shower gel. And then all of a sudden you sell soccer balls. It's kind of like, that's just really kind of odd. So they talked about in this, this may have been the European guy I was listening to. I don't know if he's from the UK, like England, or like where he's from. But, so he was talking about that. Now, if you wanted to do bath and body stuff and then add on maybe like nail polish, right? I mean, that's somewhat similar, even though it's not lotion or body gel, but at least it's something that goes on the body. So that kind of makes sense, but adding in soccer balls just doesn't make sense. Or all of a sudden you add in like calculators. Like, what's that? Like, why are calculators? What does that have to do with bath and body? Right, so I'm looking for stuff within that niche or close to that niche. And then oh my gosh, I'm telling you, I found some product I really liked, talked to my husband about it. And then I went to Alibaba and I was kind of looking, and there are so many sellers that are selling something similar from the, like, I know where they're getting it. Like, I can see what they're selling. But the thing I was looking at really is wide open. There's really only 1 to 2 brands, one main brand that was selling this specific product. And they had a lot of variations, so they were like covering the whole first page. And there was like a couple other things, and there's some sponsored stuff that had nothing to do with these products. You know, that's another thing, right? Sponsored listings that don't have anything to do, but they show up in your search. So I was looking through that, and I'm like, okay, I feel really good with this, but I want to bundle it with something because there's so many other sellers selling something very similar. So I found, so the trick is to read the feedback, read the reviews, what are people saying they didn't like or did like, and then, you know, make a note of the stuff they really like to make sure you continue with that if you're going to create a product or make alterations to a product. And then I was like, okay, then if I found something that they didn't like, how can I improve on that? So I was really looking at all of that type of stuff. And then I was like, well, do I really want to go that route? Do I really want to do like private label or white label? Because it's really putting me into a different position business liability wise. So I really got to reach out to Ashlyn Hayden's company and find out, like, if I do something like this, then what am I going to do? How am I going to, like, how's it going to affect me liability wise? And is my insurance rates going to go up? And, you know, what's the consequences of doing something like that? Because I do know that definitely when you do private label, it does make a difference in your liability. But I will stay away from things like supplements and toys, all these regulations, all these things that have so many regulations. I'm going to stay away from that, and or lawsuits, right? So kind of try and stay away from that type of stuff. So I was looking at that, and I spent a whole afternoon. I was talking about like 3 or 4 hours. That was that one product. I spent so much time researching it. And then I tried to find like a U.S. manufacturer. Forget it. I went to Thomasnet. I used to use Thomasnet when I worked for a company way back like 25, 30 years ago. Wait a minute. They didn't have the internet back then. When did I use it? Well, maybe. It was at the beginning of the internet. It was in like 94, 95 maybe. And I felt like they had more products on there than they do now. I was searching for this niche and there was like hardly anything. There was one company really, and even then it wasn't what I was looking for. So, but I will say that one product they had kind of spun me into this direction that I was looking at with Alibaba. I really don't want to order from Alibaba, but everything leads to Alibaba. So then I'm thinking about, all right, I really would prefer to find a US distributor, brand name products. I feel like you just really get the push, you know, like when somebody sells Betty Crocker cake mix with a Betty Crocker frosting, I just feel like there are people who are more apt to buy a Betty Crocker branded item than they would if they were to buy, you know, Tamara's branded item. So I gotta fix my thing again. I tightened this the other day and it's still slipping. So, yeah, so I'm trying to figure that all out. So that's what I'm working on business-wise, finding the time to do the research. I really feel like I need to hone into, there's gotta be some product, service. I thought that was a person right there, but it's like, I was like, oh, they're refilling their bird feeders, and I gotta go buy birdseed today. But they got like a statue that's got human clothes on right outside next to their bird feeder. Wouldn't that scare the birds away? That the birds think the birds will think there's a person there. How does that work for their bird feeder? That's so weird. All right, I digress on that one. All right, so I'm going to see if I can find something that will cut down my time. There's got to be something that will, besides just randomly coming up with words. I actually spent some time in categories, and man, there's some categories that don't have a lot of things listed. So yeah, I thought that was kind of interesting. That kind of led me to thinking of something else also. But yeah, so if I can find that, programs that would help. And so that's kind of where that lays. If I have time, I think I'm going to work on it. But I feel like I'm not going to really pressure, like take my time to really focus on that this time around, because as much as I really want to get that stuff launched, and I kind of feel like I want to figure out a couple products before I go ahead and say, okay, I'm going to register this trade name. Because if I can't find something that I'm comfortable with, enough things that I'm comfortable with, I might find that I'm going to register a different name, and I might go in a different direction. So I kind of really feel like I need to figure that out before I go forward with starting to register stuff. So I'm doing that right now. And then I'm also sourcing for Q4, and I think I'm going to do a trip. I'm talking about doing possibly a trip this week, but now it calls for possibly snow on Wednesday. And I didn't snow and rain, and I didn't really want to do anything if the weather was going to be bad. So that's kind of on hold for a minute until I see, I probably won't make a decision until Tuesday. And so that's with that. And that's pretty much eBay and Etsy. And, I got the results of my blood test back for those who watched last week, and found out that I am really not, it was a food reactivity test from Everlywell. And it came back saying pretty much that I don't have any food like sensitivities. It goes green is like perfect. So green, blue, yellow, and red. I had nothing in the yellow and red. I had a few things in the blue. Gosh, that's what I need for Christmas. A new phone mount. And I had a couple things in the blue. I think I got 8 things in the blue. Some of them were just barely. Like green went up to the number 17. And I had like 3 or 4 items that were 18. So cow's milk, which they don't check for lactose intolerance. Cow's milk, chicken, which I was surprised about. Wheat. The highest that was on the list was rye, which I was surprised with. Rye. And wheat was actually higher than 18. I'm trying to think of the other things that were on that list. I can't remember, but that was it. There was nothing in the yellow and nothing in the red. So I was really surprised. Excuse me for coughing in your ear. So I was surprised that I didn't have more. I was really kind of hoping that would be my answer to some issues I've been having going on, that it would tell me I have I'm on an inflammation diet right now, trying to get some things under control. And I was really hoping that perhaps I would have a food category be recognized as this is something that's causing me issues, which would create the inflammation. So I was bummed about that. So that's that. And yeah, so that's pretty much all that's really going on right now since last week. Again, if you haven't watched that video, go back and watch it. I go into detail a little bit more about some health issues that I'm dealing with, in case you're interested in that, my personal side of life, and then just home my reselling and where I'm at with that. But all right, well, I am here at my first stop, so I'm gonna let you guys go, and I probably won't say any more because I'm gonna make these quick videos since you guys don't hang out for very long. So here's a 16-minute video. All right, thanks so much for watching. Thanks for hanging out and listening to the update. If you're not subscribed, subscribe, hit that thumbs up, leave a comment. I love reading your comments, and I will talk to you guys later. Alrighty, bye.